In this video, we're going to talk food service, breakfast and lunch with our Director of Food Service, Miss Julie Ferguson. And so I thank you for being with us today. Before we really get started, the first thing that I want to do is thank you, your staff. I'm not sure that people are aware, but when school closed back in March, our food service department continued to feed students, and they have done so all through the summer. And we're currently offering food over at the intermediate school each day. When we closed in March, Miss Ferguson staff, I believe they fed over 25,000 meals from March to the end of the school year. And so a thank you to you and your staff to continue to provide for our students and families. I know we did remote locations and all sorts of things, but a great service that you provided, and so we very much appreciate it. I know our community does as well. What we're here to do is we're here to talk about the new school year, and we know we've got students that have chosen virtual learning. We know that we've got students that are going to come to school each day, and we know that we've got students that might intermittently be at home.
That's true.
And so we want to talk food service and some of the guidelines that we're receiving, and inform our parents and community as to what the cafeteria might look like.
Right.
To start us, would you just talk about capacity and seating and guidelines that we've received from the State Department?
Okay, pretty well all of our schools are, the capacity of each one of them is a little bit different, but they range anywhere from 220 to 240. We feel like with the guidelines we've been given, we can fit about 100 kids. 100 students in each cafeteria. It may look a little different. The tables may be spread out a little bit. We may add some desks or things there to keep our social distancing. It'll just kind of be most of those that are going to be eating lunch in the cafeteria or getting food from the cafeteria that will be in each building. We'll do something different with their those that bring lunch from home or breakfast from home. They will be seeing that different. We will be serving both breakfast and lunch. With the virtual learning, you are able to supply you with breakfast and lunch. It will probably be once a day pickup, kind of like we have been doing. When school was closed down, we did it once a day. You will pick up. You will have to do a pre-order so that we have the correct amount. You will have to give your student's name. It's only available to those that are actively enrolled in the school district.
Each building is set up a little different. The size of each cafeteria is a little different, and so Ms. Ferguson has been working with building administration, alternate plans and different locations for meals, and so each building will be communicating as we get closer to school further about what that looks like, where kids may be. We've got lots of options since we were a little bit more spread out, and so there's more information to come, but right now we're operating at about 50% capacity.
Yes.
And that's been the guidance from the state, is to operate your cafeterias at 50% capacity, and so we're going to try to do that. The cafeteria's been a social place for students to be able to sit and talk, and so they're still going to be able to do some of those things. They're going to be a little bit more spread out, kind of like me and Miss Ferguson are here, but we still want them to have the experience and interaction with each other. And those sort of things. As we've talked about the situation that we're in with COVID and all that sort of, talk about your recommendations and what we would prefer for payment options and the things that we've added and that sort of thing for families.
We still have My Payments Plus. We've had that in previous years. For those that are familiar with it, it should be just like normal. It does charge a fee, which we have tried to work and maybe trying to get that waived, but that's not going to happen. We would prefer you to pay online, but we understand because of that fee, you wouldn't want to. We are going to set up a box, probably in the cafeteria, maybe somewhere else in the school, where your child can put an envelope in that box, and we can get that later. It is harder if you're going to put money in that box, like for cash. You might want to make sure that you are putting your child's name on there. Check is an easy way to trace back where cash isn't. So if you forget to put a name on there, it's going to be very hard for us. So My Payments Plus, you can set up a free account. It monitors. You can go out there and see every day your child eats. You see what they're getting. Say, hey, I know they ate today. Oh, they didn't eat today. So sometimes there's room for error, but you can always monitor that and keep track of that, and you can always call us if you see an issue that may happen. Call us, say, hey, I see this problem. But that is our preferred That will be our preferred, so that we're not passing cash and money back and forth. It's just a safety.
So we have three options.
We do.
The preferred option is My
My
Payment
Payments
Plus
Plus.
online. That's through the school district website.
Yes.
You can locate
Yes.
that. You can use debit or credit card there. Second option is our drop boxes that we'll have in each cafeteria now.
We'll continue to take money at the cashier as they come and get their food.
And
We'll continue that.
the challenge for our school there is with our social distancing lines. That'll slow us down a little bit, trying
Right.
to get through some of our lines and getting food to students. And so that's why we're preferring one of the other two
Yes.
options. But we'll work with families and students any
Yes,
way that we
we will.
can, as we always
Yes,
have.
we will.
Talk just a little bit about, I know we were doing some different things as far as trays, silverware, some of that stuff. Talk a little bit, even as students go through lines. So talk about some of those changes for our students and parents.
Yes, when students go through line, we will have lines marked where they can stand to make sure they keep their social distancing. The students will no longer pick up their own silverware. We will place that on the tray for them. I know the first week our plans are to do throwaway trays. Same way with milk. Please, visit with your students. Say, hey, when you get to that line, let us know if it's chocolate or white or whatever color. Let us know, because we also have to place that on their tray. They will no longer be able to get in that milk cooler and reach in and get that milk. We have to place it there for them. Like I said, we'll have lines set up to where this is where you stand. When that person moves forward, you will move there. And they will be standing up against the wall and not up close by the serving line. And that'll pretty well. With the high school, it may be a little bit different because they have different options. So it may look a little bit different, but it'll be basically the same.
As we start back to school, of course, this year lunch prices have increased
Yes.
just a little bit. I believe 10 cents
Yes.
for
Breakfast and lunch.
breakfast and lunch. And so what are the new lunch prices?
The breakfast is for everybody is $1.70 for lunch. It is for kindergarten or pre-K through 6th grade. It will be $2.30, and then for 7th through 12th grade, it will be $2.55.
As we start back to school, the school district always makes a big push for free and reduced lunch
Yes.
forms and those sort of things. Would you talk just a little bit about how to access those, where they're available, and the importance of getting those turned back in?
The first thing is it's very important because it helps the school. It helps your student. The school gets more kickback, so it's better for us. The way that you can access a free and reduced form is online. You can go to our district website, and those online will be available August the 1st. You can go fill one out. That's probably the most confidential way of submitting a free reduced form is the one online.
We have one staff member that actually sees the
Yes.
information if it's entered online. For confidentiality
Yes.
reasons, that staff
Yes.
member cannot
We cannot
share the
discuss
information.
it.
And
No.
so that is very private, it's very
Very
protected. And that's our preferred method is to do
It
it
is.
online.
It
And
is.
the reason being is sometimes as we try to read handwriting,
Yes.
we struggle with entering the correct information,
is.
but parents usually, they
Yes.
get it all correct.
They
And so
do.
it's much
They
more
do.
accurate for us.
Now, we'll still have the paper
Yeah.
application that if you want that, you can call us, or they will be in different locations. Each school will have some. All you gotta do is just tell us, hey, we need that paper application, and we'll make sure you get it.
To your point, it helps the students
It does.
by providing a reduced meal price or a free meal price. Also helps the district because
does.
our funding is based on our free and reduced rates.
Right.
And the higher those percentages, the more money that we receive from the state and federal government, and the more opportunities that we can provide students. We're fortunate in Pea Ridge that our free and reduced rate has been high enough that we can serve all students with state
Right.
and federal money, and we don't just get to target
Right.
certain students. And so it's very important that we get those forms back. But we always make that push this
Yes.
time of year,
Yes, we do.
and this year
We
be no different. Talk about each of our buildings runs multiple lunches. As one group leaves and another arrives, talk about what the food service staff and the cafeteria will be doing to make sure that we're safe from one group to the
Yes.
next.
We will, we've asked each principal of each building to allow us 10 to 15 minutes at least. If we need longer, then we will get with the principal and we'll say, hey, we need extra time. But it will allow us 10 to 15 minutes in between each class to clean the tables, clean chairs, whatever it is that needs to be cleaned where those students have sit or where they have walked. We've got to wipe down, handles, or just in general, if they stand against the wall, you got to think about all that. Every employee will be out there cleaning. We'll have throwaway aprons and we'll have our gloves on. So to not only protect us, but to protect the students as well.
And so, okay, just a quick recap. The period schools will be serving breakfast and lunch each day. Students that are at school or at home remotely,
Yes.
both of them will be served by our food service
Yes.
staff. We're still working out locations
That's great.
for our virtual and remote students. There will be a request form or a way to get in touch with Ms. Ferguson for those remote learners to request a meal or to come by and pick one up each day. We certainly appreciate you. Is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to communicate to our students and families?
Hang in there. I'm sure there's going to be some adjustments as we go. We know that things change, and when that changes and we get new regulations, bear with us and be patient with us and hang in there with us and help us out. And push those free reduced. Yeah.
I appreciate you being with us
Yes, thank
today,
you.
and we're looking forward to getting back to school.
Thank you.